Hello everyone, you're welcome to today's session in English language. And for this lesson, we'll be looking at phonemic awareness part 2. You recall that last week we explored phonemic awareness, and we looked at the letters of the alphabet and the different sounds that the letters make. We explored the letters of the alphabet in English, that is letters A to Z. And we also saw the sounds that these different letters make. In addition to that, we looked at the 5 special letters in the alphabet that are called vowels. We looked at the vowels, and then we also considered some words that these vowels are used to form. Okay, we looked at the vowels and the sounds they make in some words. And then we also mentioned that there is a special letter among these alphabets that functions sometimes as a vowel and other times it functions as a consonant. Okay, letter Y. The letter Y functions as a vowel and also as a consonant. Now remember, we mentioned that out of the 26 letters of the alphabet, these 5, A, E, I, O, U, with the sounds A, E, O, respectively, are the vowels in the alphabet, and the remaining letters are consonants, except for letter Y that functions as both. Okay, we consider some examples. So today we are going to continue our exploration of phonemic awareness, because remember we mentioned that this is a very important aspect of language learning. You know, in English language is a very important aspect of language learning, because it forms the foundation for being able to process sounds correctly and to also make sounds correctly when you are pronouncing words. We know the importance of communication. If you don't pronounce words correctly, you may be misunderstood. And if you are hearing someone pronounce some things maybe not the correct way, you could misunderstand the person. So it's very important that we understand the structure of sounds in words, which phonemic awareness is all about. So for today, we are going to look at what we call segmentation. Okay, you may not bother to write that out. Before we move on to that, quickly, I would just like for us to see what I have down here, and that is that English words are formed by a combination of vowels and consonant sounds. There are some languages that you may have a cluster of consonants coming together to form words. It's not so in English language. In English language, in every word there must be a vowel and there must be a consonant. It's always a combination of vowels and consonants that form words in English language. So back to what I was saying. In today's lesson, we are going to consider some aspects of this phonemic awareness. The first one we'll be looking at is called segmentation. Segmentation. Okay, that's the first one we're going to look at. And what is segmentation about? Segmentation is simply about breaking down a word to see the different sounds that come together to form that word. When you break down a word into the different sounds that come together to make that word, those different sounds are called phonemes. The smallest sound that you can get from a word is a phoneme, the smallest individual sound you can get in a word. So when you are breaking a word down into the different phonemes, into the different individual sounds that have come together to form that word, you are doing segmentation. So that is what we're going to look at today. So we're going to explore segmentation. And segmentation, like I mentioned earlier, simply means the breaking down of words into their individual phonemes. Breaking down words into their individual phonemes or into their individual sounds. So we're going to take some examples for a better understanding of what phoneme is all about. Segmentation is all about. So the first example we have here is the word cat. C-A-T, cat. Remember when we were going through our alphabets in English language and also their sounds, we mentioned that letter C makes the sound K, similar to the sound letter K makes. So here we have cat, spelled C-A-T. Now this is the transcription. But for the records, please, I would like you to note, this is not the actual transcription of the word cat, because this A is actually a blend of A and letter E. The sounds they make, A and E, is cat, okay? And there is a symbol that is used to represent the sound. It's not just this letter A, but for the sake of, for your level, we are just using this, and we are okay using this for now, okay? But when you advance in your learning, you're going to find out the actual symbol that is used to represent this sound in the word cat. So here we have cat, and then the sound is cat, cat, and these are the individual sounds. The sound made by cat is broken down into the individual sounds, and you find out that the first sound there is represented by the letter K. It's represented by the letter K, so you have K, A, T, K, A, T. Remember what we said segmentation is all about? It's about separating a word into the individual sounds that combine to form that word, into the individual phonemes. So that's exactly what we're doing here. So when you break down the word cat, this is what you come up with. K, A, T. Those are the sounds that combine to form cat. The next word here is bed. Bed. It sounds, the way it sounds is the way it's spelled, and then the individual sounds are B, E, D. Remember when we were exploring the sounds of the letters of the alphabet, we said letter B makes the sound B, letter E makes the sound E, and letter D makes the sound D. So these are the individual sounds that combine to form the word bed. The next word here is bin. 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 So this is the sound here represented. And then these are the individual sounds. So you have the first sound there made by letter B, which is B, followed by the sound made by letter I, E, and the last one there by letter N, N. B, N, N, B, N, bin. The next word here is dog. Dog. And this is the sound, just like the way it's spelled, it sounds that way, dog. And you have the sounds, the individual sounds that combine to form the word dog. They are D, D, A, G, D, A, G. And the last example we have here is the word cap. Cap. Remember when we are exploring the sounds of the vowels, we said that this letter U is a subtle sound between the sound of letter A and the sound of letter O. A is A and O is O. Letter U has the sound that is a blend of A and O. A is sharp. Okay, so we have cap, and this is the way it also goes in transcription. Sorry, the transcription here we have letter K, cap. And then when you break this sound down, you have the different letters that combine to form this word cap as K, A, P, K, A, P, cap. So when we talk of segmentation in phonemic awareness, we are simply talking about breaking down words to see the different sounds that combine to form those words. Okay, we are going to explore maybe some more examples before we move on to blending, which is another aspect of phonemic awareness. So a few more examples that we're going to consider here are the words sun, pot, and man. So for sun, you have sun, the way it's written, okay? And then the sounds are s, s, those are the individual phonemes, individual sounds that that combine to form the word sound. And then the next one is pot, pot, pot. Each of the sounds, p, o, t. Each, p, o, t. Those are the individual sounds that combine to form pot. And the last example here that we're considering is the word man, 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 the way it sounds. Okay, that's how it is written here. And then the sounds, the different sounds that come together to form that word man are a, n, a, n, man. Okay, so with this we come to the end of segmentation, and the next aspect we're going to look at is blending. So the next aspect we quickly look at is blending. Okay, blending. Let me take this off here so that we just put it down. Blending. And what is blending? Blending is simply the opposite of segmentation. Remember, we said segmentation is breaking down a word to show the individual sounds that combine to form that word. Now, in the case of blending, blending means combining the individual sounds to form a word. You see that they're exactly opposite, blending and segmentation. So while segmentation breaks down for the individual sounds to be seen, blending actually brings together the individual sound to help in forming a word. Okay, so the first example here is sun. We are actually using the examples we used for the last part of segmentation here, so that you will see how they work like opposites. So the first sounds here we have s, n, s, n, which gives the sound sun, and that is the word there, sun. The second example sounds p, t, p, t, gives the sound pot, pot, and that is the word there, pot. The last example here is m. The sound of the individual phonemes are m, a, n, m, a, n, giving the sound man, and that's the word that you have as man. Okay, we're not spending much time on blending because considering that we have already looked at segmentation, how a word is broken down to get the individual sound, and blending, like we have already seen, is simply the opposite of segmentation. It means putting together individual sounds to form a word. This is a very vital aspect of learning how to pronounce words and how to sound. Okay, so I'm not giving few examples because I do not see the need for us to do more and get a hang of this, but I'm just showing this because I know that with practice of, just follow the strategy that we have laid down already, considering that we have looked at the sounds of the different letters of the alphabet and how we combine them to form some few words that we looked at. Once you get a hang of that, you should be able to work around and try your hands on other words. Okay, so right now we're going to move on to addition and deletion. But personally, I like to call such manipulation, okay, of sounds in words. I like to call it manipulation of sounds in words. So we're going to see how that works. Okay, let's quickly look at some simple examples in addition. So when we talk of addition in phonemic awareness, we are actually referring to how sounds, when certain sounds are added to other sounds of existing words, they form new words. Adding sounds, distinct sounds, specific sounds to already existing words will now form new words. Let's look at some examples so that we understand what we're saying. Here we have the word an, A-N, an. We know that an is a word in English, it's an article. So add the sound to an. It gives you a new word, which is fan. Fan, and fan. Now, let's look at the second example. B makes the sound B. And we have a word here, at, which is used most times to show position. Okay? So we blend the sounds together. At is a word, but you're adding another sound to it, which is the sound B, B. So you have B, at. It gives a new word, bat. Here you have the letter C. Remember, it makes the sound K, like letter K. And then we have a word here, up. Now let's add this K to up. We have K, up. It gives a new word, cup. Here we have S, letter S, makes the sound S. And then there's a word here, on. So you have S, on. It gives the word sun. At gives the word cat. Eat gives the word feet. So that's what addition is about in phonemic awareness. We just gave some examples that are befitting for this level. Okay, so we quickly look at subtraction and we'll wrap it up. Okay, so let's quickly look at subtraction in phonemic awareness. So when we talk of subtraction in phonemic awareness, it simply means removing certain sounds from words and then forming new words. By removing certain sounds from words and then you form new words. So, or you take a word, for instance, you have a word that is already in existence and then you pick out a certain sound from that word and then some other word results out of that. You get a new word from that. So we're going to look at some examples of such words, that you remove certain sounds from them and you get new words. So the first word we have here is shop. When you remove S from the word shop, you have hop. The second one is sing. Remove the g sound, you have a new word, sin. So this first one, remove this sound, you have hop. Okay? The third one here is stand. When you remove the t sound from stand, you are left with sand. And the fourth example is sleep, like when your foot sleeps and you fall. Okay, sleep. When you take off the sound s, you have a new word, leap. The next one here is flap. Okay, like when a bird flaps its wings. Flap. Remove the f sound from flap. You have lap. Okay, and the last example here is sink. Sink would mean to go down, or the sink in the kitchen where dirty dishes are washed. Sink. Now remove the sound s from sink. You are left with ink. You're left with ink. So these are some examples of how subtraction works in phonemic awareness. The last one we're going to consider is manipulation. So the last example we're looking at in this lesson on phonemic awareness is manipulation. What does manipulation mean in phonemic awareness? Manipulation simply means moving sounds around in a word. Okay, moving sounds around in a word, just changing the position of sound that exists in a particular word to see what new word is formed. It could be one sound you move around, or it could be more than one sound. But here, considering our level, we're just using simple words, okay, to move one letter around and then see the new words we form, 1 or 2 letters at most. Okay, so manipulation simply means moving words around, to manipulate the sounds and see what new words are formed. The first one we have here is tap, t, up. Now, the letters are moved around. The T that is the first here becomes the last, and the P that is the last becomes the first. So the new word formed here is pat. Pat. Tap, pat. You find that these are still the same letters and the same sounds, but the sounds are just moved around in the word, and the new word is formed. So here you have buns, buns, buns. The same words, the same letters, the same sounds, but they are manipulated. They are just swapped around, and then you have a new word. Snub, snub, snub. The third one is tub, like your bathtub. And then you move words around, letters and sounds around, you have a new word. But. The next one is labs, like laboratories where you carry out experiment. Labs. So you move these sounds around, you come up with slab. Come up with slab. Okay? Like what you use. A concrete, okay, that is made into a surface. And the last one is bat. Bat. And when you move the letters or the sounds around, you come up with a new word, tab. The last sound here becomes the first, and the first becomes the last. These are just some simple examples of manipulating sounds in a word or in words to form new words. Okay, so phonemic awareness is all about being able to make the appropriate sounds and also being able to hear correctly when sounds are produced through words. Phonemic awareness is all about being aware of the structure of sound in words, and this forms the basic of clear communication. If you want to be understood and you want others to understand you, knowing about phonemes and then having an understanding of phonemic awareness is a must, because it really helps in building our communication skills. Okay, so here is where we're going to call it a day for today. I hope we have learned one or two things. Like I always say, please try to go over this lesson again, because language is not what you just learn at once. It involves practicing, and you need to revise this until you get a hang of them. You totally understand every detail of the lesson. Okay, and also as you do that, please try to use these words in your everyday life. Whatever we are learning, try to be practicing them. Try to play with them. Okay, play with whatever we are learning. By so doing, you are planting them into your subconscious, and you will just find yourself using them even when you are not planning to use them, because as you have been revising and practicing, you are planting them into your mind, and you really gain a better understanding of these words as you practice. Okay, so I hope to see you again next week. Please tell Daddy and Mommies to help us share these videos, and also to share the video, like it, and then subscribe to our channel. We hope to see you again next week. Stay blessed and stay safe.